I stretched my body out a bit before turning off the alarm. Well, I slept pretty well last night, which means that today will probably be a bad day. Alright, time to get up. I get dressed, have a small breakfast, and head off to work. Hi.
Hey, Kazuki.
Welcome. Oh, you're here.
Yeah, they're not surprised to see me on time. Anyway, what's the plan for today?
We can list out what we've managed to gather so far?
Man, that's boring.
Yeah, I agree.
You two are so lazy.
We've been sharing all the case information with each other up to this point, so I'm sure everyone is up to date with everything.
Exactly. It's just as I said.
I believe your exact words were, "Man, that's boring." It's completely different from Kaoru's opinion.
Oh, could that be Michiko?
Suzumi glances at her watch.
It can't be. It's too early.
Who is it then?
Akito gets up to answer the door. He's probably hoping the guest will be a cute girl.
Hello? How may I?
I'm Agent Alex Chen from the FBI. I need to ask you guys a few questions, may I? What? FBI? What is the FBI doing here?
Sure.
Thank you. We all stare at the agent as he walks in.
And why does the FBI want to talk to us?
You must be Suzumi Misao.
Yes, that's me.
I just want to ask a few questions about the Phantom case.
Okay, but what are you doing here? Why is the FBI suddenly interested in this case?
I believe this case is not in your jurisdiction.
Exactly.
We all give him dubious looks while waiting his answer. Well, to tell you the truth, I'm here on vacation. I heard some things about this case. What I've learned so far really intrigued me, so you thought you could just come in here and ask us some questions about it. That sounds awfully suspicious if you ask me. Yeah, I thought that maybe I could provide some assistance.
Why didn't you go to the police for help?
I was going to, but my friend told me that I should talk to you guys instead. General Koya, or I guess some people believe we have a higher chance of catching Phantom.
Alright. Our two best men on the job will talk to you.
Huh? Two best men? What is she talking about? She just let Akito talk to the guy. He's got all the information anyway. Thank you so much.
Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have more help.
So, where can we talk?
Please take Mr. Smith to the briefing room, Akito.
Me?
Yes, you. You've done all the research so far. So you should be able to answer all of Mr. Smith's inquiries.
Okay.
Yep, Akito's the best man for the job.
Oh, and Kazuki. Go help Akito.
What? Why me?
Isn't it obvious? We're the two best men.
Whatever.
Better hop to it. The faster you do, the quicker you'll finish.
I painfully and slowly get to my feet. She's making me do all kinds of tedious jobs. How annoying.
Let's go, my best partner.
Hey. Suddenly what you said earlier makes sense. You said best men. I look at Suzumi. Of course, we're the only two men here. Darn. I knew there was something fishy with the way she phrased that.
Please follow me, Mr. Smith.
Sure. Do you mind if I write down the information?
Not at all. Go ahead.
Alright then. He takes out his laptop and preps himself. Ready when you are. And so we proceed to tell him everything we know about the Phantom. By the time we finish, 3 hours had passed.
So yeah, that's all we have, so far.
I see. Well, I must say you guys are very scrupulous in your investigations.
Of course.
What are you doing exactly, if I may ask? You see, I specialize in data analysis. I'm inputting the information so I can do some cross-examinations. This way I can look for ambiguity and commonalities. I cross my arms. Maybe he'll find something.
That sounds so cool.
I wouldn't say that's cool. I mean, I'm just sitting in front of a computer for hours on end.
Oh, good point. Still, you enjoy it, don't you?
Absolutely. Nothing can escape my eyes, after all.
That's right.
Anyway, I'll need to create a backup for the data. Do you mind if I connect to your company's Wi-Fi?
Sure.
Akito assists him while I stand idly by and watch. Thanks, this will help a lot since I have access to all the databases now. Hopefully I'll be able to find out some useful information for the investigations.
I see.
It will take a while, of course, and there are no guarantees I'll be able to find something you guys haven't discovered yet. Any assistance will help as we're still lacking some information. This may only be the beginning of the Phantom's reign of terror. And at this point, we still don't know what his true motives are. Anyway, it doesn't look like the Phantom is going away anytime soon. Yeah.
Say, did you ever come across a similar case back in the US?
I don't think so.
Man.
But we did have this really crazy case once.
Oh? What was it?
It was some time ago. I just started working for the FBI around that time. I was put in charge of collecting evidence for the case.
Interesting. Can you tell us more about the case?
Have you ever heard about a serial killer named James N. King?
I don't think I have. How about you, Kazuki?
Nope. James N. King committed his first murder at the mere age of 18. His first victim was a hitchhiker who James invited to his home for a drink. The guy wanted to leave after finishing his drink, but James refused to let him leave. He then hit the guy over the head with a dumbbell and strangled him to death while he was down. James's reason for his action was that he didn't want the hitchhiker to leave, so he killed him. He was known for dismembering his victims' bodies. He'd separate the tissues from the bones, grind the bones into small pieces, and dump them in a nearby forest. James's killing spree lasted for more than 13 years. During that time, he'd mostly hang out with men at gay bars, malls, and bus stops. He'd lure them home with promises of money or sex. He'd give his victims alcohol laced with drugs before strangling them to death. After that, he'd dismember their bodies and dump the corpses somewhere. He would often keep their genitals or skulls as souvenirs too. What's even more crazy is that he would take photos of his victims at various stages of the murder process, so that he could recollect each act afterwards and relive the experience.
Jeez, that is some crazy shit.
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Jeffrey Dahmer or not. Because if I remember correctly, Gacy targeted children, Bundy was women, BTK and Toy Box were a lot more brutal in their execution, and Toy Box didn't even kill all of his victims. Some of them he just let go because they wouldn't believe the story anyway. Yeah, what a sick guy. Well, what can I say? We live in a crazy world. True.
So how did you manage to catch him? I bet he was a hard fellow to find, having gone in hiding and all, right?
Yeah, he was hard to find. Thankfully he made an error that led to his capture, but I have to say, this case is an excellent example of police negligence and poor detective work in my opinion. Why do you say that? What happened? One day, James's neighbor called the police to report that a young man was running naked in the street. So naturally the police came to verify this and asked James some questions. James simply claimed that the young man was his boyfriend. The police accepted it as the truth and escorted both James and the victim back to James's home. They didn't bother to do any background checks on him, which was truly unfortunate. Because if they had, they would have realized that James was a sex offender. It's clear that the police officers didn't want to get involved in the incident. After all, they only took a cursory look around the place before leaving. You two probably guessed it by now, but James ended up killing the young man and keeping his skull. If the police had conducted a search back then, they would have found the body of the other victim in his fridge.
Damn.
This is why you should take any information at face value. Nothing should be taken lightly. I couldn't agree more.
So how did they catch him in the end?
Right, like I said before, he made a mistake. On the day of his arrest, James happened to be luring a man into his home. James forced the man into his bedroom using a butcher knife. The man fought back, and in their struggle managed to get free and run out into the streets, where he flagged down a police car with a handcuff dangling from his wrist. The man told the officer that some strange guy had drugged and restrained him in his house. This prompted the police officers to pay James a visit. James acted normal around the officer, hoping he would leave. However, one of the officers decided to check out James's bedroom because of the victim's testimony, and found photographs of dismembered bodies lying around. The officers captured James without another thought. They did a further search around the house and found even more victims, a head in the refrigerator, 3 more in the freezer, some preserved skulls, and jars containing genitalia. They even found an extensive gallery of macabre photographs.
Man, That is one creepy case.
Yeah, it's no wonder you still remember the case.
Yeah, and to think, this was your first case, too.
Yeah, guess I'm just lucky. Anyway, I think I'm done here.
Oh, is that everything?
Yes. I trust that you'll contact us once you find something. Of course. I hope I'll be able to find something new to help you with the investigations. This is not certain, but I think there may be something within these data that may be able to help you guys.
See? I had a hunch that something good would come out of this. Something big.
I don't think it's something we should be happy about, though. He looks at us. In any case, I hope you guys catch this killer. We will. After all, everyone makes mistakes, right? Yep, I believe so. Well, thank you for your time. After Agent Smith leaves, we return to our duties until someone knocked on our door again. Wasn't his name Chen or something like that?
Huh? Who could it be at this hour?
Why don't you go and see who it is?
Why me?
Seriously?
Suzumi gets up and opens the door.
Oh, hello. I didn't know you were coming in today.
Hello. I was supposed to come earlier, but an incident occurred at the police station, so I got delayed.
Oh, does it have something to do with the Phantom?
I'm afraid not. It's about the other two unrelated cases.
Oh, I see. Anyway, come on in.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, this is Michiko Sazuma from the Special Police Force.
Oh, the mysterious Michiko has arrived. Hey, welcome, welcome.
Hello. Don't mind Akito. He's always like this around girls.
Gosh, big bro, you sound like a creep. Hi there.
Hi.
Hello. I'm Michiko. It's really nice to meet you all.
She blushes right away.
You look flushed, Michiko. Did Akito scare you?
Hey!
Oh, no. It's nothing like that. I'm sorry.
So real quick, I don't actually know what the native language of the game is, because you have to remember in Japanese, police officers are required to refer to themselves in third person. So she would have said something like, "This officer is sorry," rather than "I'm sorry."
There's no need to apologize. I don't blame you for being flustered by what you see here. It's an odd mix, I know, but we're a family here at Iversell. One big, weird family.
I don't know why my phone ringer was on.
I agree 100%. Well put, Suzumi.
Come sit down. Okay, thank you.
Michiko settles for a seat at the end of the table.
You can sit closer to us, you know? We won't bite.
Yeah, although I can't say the same for Akito.
Huh? What is that supposed to mean?
Guys, please.
Hey Michiko, can I ask you something?
Yes?
How old are you?
Seriously, big bro.
What? I'm just curious. She seems to be around our age. What do you guys think?
You should never ask girls about their age.
Oh, come on. What's the harm? We're all friends here.
Please excuse his behavior, Michiko.
It's okay. I think he's kind of cute. What?
The girls look at Michiko in shock. I have to say, I'm pretty shocked myself.
I mean, he seems like a nice person.
See? No one can resist my charm.
I look at Suzumi and see that she's staring at Akito. I can't believe you actually think you're charming.
Hey! Traitor! Where's your loyalty?
What the hell are you babbling about? Since when was I part of Team Akito anyway?
For your information, it's called men's solidarity.
Oh, really? Well, I'm not interested in your little solidarity, so you're on your own, buddy.
You two seem really close. You must be good friends.
What? The other girls break into laughter upon seeing our reaction.
Well, we've been together for a year now, so we know each other pretty well.
Yep. What Suzumi said.
By the way, Michiko, what happened at the police station?
All right, it's about the Jesse James Jr. and Peter Sonaki cases. Oh, the first so-called Phantom murders. Yes.
I suppose the police managed to them.
Yes, the person responsible for the murder of Jesse is a man named Arayuki Aiwei. The police received a search warrant to search his place, but once they arrived at his apartment, he retaliated.
Yay for solving the case! But, whoa, that sounds really scary.
It took 5 police officers to restrain him.
Whoa, that's awesome!
What happened next?
Well, the police did a search and found some surgical tools in his apartment.
Those were probably the tools he used to cut open James's chest.
Indeed. Moreover, his shoe size matches the prints left at the crime scene.
I'm glad to hear that he was caught.
Yeah.
What about Peter's case?
Iman confessed that Wazar hired him to kill Peter.
Iman is the ex-soldier guy, right?
Yes.
Well, he doesn't have much of a choice but to confess at this point. I mean, the police does have all his information on record.
That's true. In any case, it's a good thing he confessed to the crime. Because this also implicates Uzar and his involvement with Peter's death. There's no way he can get away from it now.
Yeah.
Thank you for the updates, Michiko.
You're welcome.
Akito's usually the one in charge of updating us with anything regarding the police front, but we've got our hands full at the moment. That's why you've been sent here to assist us.
Yes, we're fully aware of the situation here. General Koya really appreciates your help.
Shocker! You mean he talks about us?
Not really. He only mentioned about Igor-san's current situation to me.
Oh, okay.
I see that General Koya trusts you a great deal.
Michiko blushes again.
I guess so. He's very nice to me.
Koya, huh?
Alright guys, it's been a really long day. Let's stop here and continue our work tomorrow.
So what's the plan for tomorrow?
The only case we didn't check out yet is Professor Li Shang's case.
Well, we did discuss the case a bit. The only thing we can't quite figure out is this map of Utna and what significance it holds.
Yes.
Hey, what about the police, Michiko? Have they looked into it? Maybe they know something.
I'm afraid not. All I know is that General Koya and his staff are currently searching for a connection between all the victims.
Akito, could you go see General Koya tomorrow?
Huh? What for?
We should inform the police on our share of the investigation.
Are you referring to the texts about God?
Don't forget about the newspaper clipping we found at Matsuo's crime scene.
Oh yeah.
Yes, please take care of that for us. Meanwhile, the rest of us will look over the professor's case.
Alright, leave it to me.
Is it okay if I go with Akito?
Okay. It's not like you to make such a request. What's your motive?
Damn. Hey, I'm just afraid that Akito won't be able to handle it on his own. Besides, I want to know if the police found out anything.
I get it. You want to meet General Koya, don't you?
You're worried that General Koya might catch the Phantom before we do, huh?
Whatever. So can I go with Akito?
But then, that only leaves Kaoru and me. I guess we'll have to handle it on our own.
It's fine. Besides, I don't think they'll be gone for long.
What do you mean only Kaoru and me? What about Aki?
Aki won't be here tomorrow because she has some business to take care of.
I look to Aki for an answer, but she only gently smiles back at me. I wonder what it could be. So, can I go or not?
Yes, you may go.
Alright.
Ka is back in action.
K.A.?
Kazuki and Akito, aka the Ka team.
Oh god, big bro. That's such a stupid name.
Ouch! Hey, you hurt my feelings, sis. Must you be so negative?
That's what you get for coming up with stupid names.
What?
Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for all your hard work, guys.
Okay, so I guess I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m., Kazuki?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright, let's go home, everyone.
I turned off the alarm and got out of bed. I head over to the kitchen and make myself breakfast. After I've eaten my meal, I go over to the window and look outside. There are hordes of people passing by as usual. A reality con between black and white. People are constantly rushing to make money in order to better their lives. This is all I see nowadays. It all seems so meaningless, and there's no joy. Is this what people call happiness? What's the point in asking myself that? I mean, it's not like I have the answer. Okay, Phantom, what do you want? What is it you're trying to achieve? What are you trying to prove? Maybe he's not trying to show us anything. He could just be some psychotic lunatic. But is he? What concerns me the most is how there's no sign of intrusion or struggle at any of the crime scenes. Aside from the methods used to kill his victims, there's no other sign of violence at all. It's almost as if he was invited in by the victims themselves. But how can that be? Is he really that good? Then it occurred to me that maybe the Phantom knew the victims personally, but that seems highly unlikely. All the victims came from different backgrounds. They were so vastly different in their preferences, lifestyles, and everything. I give up. I'll discuss with the others later. Maybe they'll be able to figure something out. Hello?
Hey, I'll be there in like 5 minutes.
Alright, I'll be waiting.
Okay, see you soon.
Yeah. Well, time to get going. You're late, Akito.
Huh?
Akito checks the time in his car.
No, I'm not.
It's already 2 minutes past 9. I give him a serious look.
Ah, give me a break, man. Since when did you start caring about being on time? Sheesh.
I smirk at him.
Ah, screw you. I knew you were just pulling my leg.
I get into the car and put on the seatbelt. I just wanted to see how you'd react.
What am I to you, a guinea pig or something?
Well?
Don't bother answering that. I don't even want to know. Let's just go.
Akito,
Yeah?
what else do you know about Koya?
I know the higher-ups wanted him to stay in the counter-terrorism unit. They wanted to make him captain or something, but he refused the offer.
Do you know why?
Nope, I don't think anyone knows the reason. Why are you asking about General Koya anyway?
So right here might be something else that's lost in translation, because general would normally be higher than captain by a significant margin. So I'm a little lost here. I'm just curious. Anything else?
He has amazing aim and is great with guns. I've also heard he's even more skilled with bows and knives.
What?
Yeah, it's not only the standard army equipment that he's good with. And get this, he's amazing with stealth work too.
You mean like a silent killer?
I wouldn't put it that way, but yes.
So he just left the Special Forces after rejecting the offer?
Yep, after that he relocated here. Who knows, maybe he just wanted a more calm and serene lifestyle.
How did he become in charge of Utna's Special Police Force then?
Oh, well, he already had an amazing track record in a counter-terrorism unit for dealing with the analytical work and all that, so the captain recommended him for the position.
I see. Thanks for the info.
No problem.
I guess it makes sense. Being a detective would mean no more field operations and less dangerous work after all.
What's on your mind, dude?
Sorry. I was just thinking everything sort of makes sense now.
I don't quite understand what you mean by that, but okay.
It's like you said. He probably wanted a more peaceful lifestyle.
Yeah, he was probably tired of the job, too. Well, I guess we'll never know. Alright, let's go in. Oh, is it okay if I...
Yeah, you can tell Koya what we found out. I don't really care. Akito scratches his head and grins at me.
Thanks.
We enter the station and see a police officer seated at the front desk.
Hey Jasper, how's it going?
It's you, Akito. It's okay. It's been pretty quiet around here today. He looks familiar. I'm trying to think of where I've seen him before. Then it hits me. It's the guy who wouldn't let Kaoru and I pass the last time we were here. Jasper, huh? It's a pretty unusual name. Anyway, I'm surprised he still works here.
Is General Koya in his office?
I believe so.
Alright, thanks.
No problem. Jasper throws a glance my way. He doesn't even bother to greet me. Jeez.
Hello? General Koya, I hope we're not disturbing you or anything.
Of course not. In fact, I've only just arrived myself. Sorry to disappoint you, but we don't have any new updates for you today.
Oh, I see. That's too bad. I have some fantastic news for you, though.
Oh? And what is this fantastic news you speak of?
I decide to remain silent and let Akito do all the talking.
We have some information regarding the texts that were found at Ogane and the teacher's crime scene. There's also something else.
Oh, well, you've piqued my interest. Please, have a seat.
And so Akito tells Koya what we believe the body of text in the Blind Owl, as well as the inscription on the sword, may mean.
That's an interesting theory. To become a god. God is in all of us.
Yes, and with this, we can...
Hopefully figure out the Phantom's primary motive.
What are you thinking, Koya? I study Koya's face. As usual, his poker face remains impenetrable. There's just no way of telling what this guy is thinking.
Right. Exactly. It's likely that the perpetrator has some sort of obsession with religion and is acting according to his beliefs or something like that. We're not sure yet.
Well done.
Thank you.
Now, what about the other thing?
Oh, it's about the framed newspaper clipping that was found at Matsuo's crime scene.
I'm pretty sure I saw General Koya smile when Akito said that.
Tell me about it.
Koya closed his eyes and folds his arms. Akito starts telling Koya about how we discovered the frame, and how we found out the Genichi family never displayed the newspaper clipping, etc.
We believe that the Phantom is trying to tell us that something will happen on this very day. We just don't know what.
Koya opens his eyes and looks at me straight in the eyes. And you believe in this? Akito turns to look at me. It seems that he knows something we don't. Yes.
If this is true, then we'll have to wait for the next murder to occur in order to find out what he's planning for that day.
This is only speculation at this point, but we're guessing that the map of Utna will show us the location. However, there are two problems with this. One, we don't have the coordinates, and two, we don't know the time at which the incident will take place.
So we're still missing a lot of details then. Nevertheless, I think we're on the right track.
Is that so?
I think so too. Anyway, that sums up our progress so far.
I'm impressed. It's a well-rounded deduction. If you don't mind me saying this, I think you're doing well for someone who's part of such a small organization.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. We're always doing our best.
Alright, I think I've had enough of this charade. So, what about your department? Did the police find anything out?
I'm afraid not. I'm sorry. Well, to be more precise, we haven't found anything that will help us with the Phantom case. Just some mundane stuff, really.
Tell me something I don't know.
I get the feeling that you don't trust me, Kazuki.
Oh, don't mind him. He's always given off that vibe.
Anyway, congratulations on solving the first two cases.
Ah, so you've heard the news?
Of course. I'm sure everyone has by now. It was amazing what you did.
Nonsense. I just noticed what others failed to see.
Nicely put.
Well, I'm sure everyone's glad to have you here, General.
I'm glad you think so. However, I mustn't take all the credit. Everyone here has done exceptional work.
He sure has a way with words. I hope you don't mind me asking this, but I've heard that you were one of the best officers in the counterterrorism unit, and that you were offered the position of a captain.
Yes, it was years ago. Ah, the good old days.
Not many people have such an impressive record. It's definitely something to boast about.
I suppose so.
He looks at me straight in the eyes again.
I guess I just wanted a change in lifestyle. Something more peaceful.
He smiles at me. I get the feeling that he's hiding something from me, but what?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Being part of the counterterrorism unit couldn't have been easy.
You don't miss it at all.
That's a tough question.
Something in his tone tells me that he does miss it.
I had no clue I was so popular around here. To tell you the truth, I've heard some interesting stories about you guys and your organization as well.
Akito and I both flinch the minute he says that.
An investigative organization called the Grossel was established 2 years ago. Independent of the police, a Grossel aims to help victims of unsolvable cases by finding out the truth.
That was our motto when I first joined Yggdrasil. I remember it like it was yesterday. Back then I also wanted to find out the truth behind my parents' death.
I heard about what happened to your parents, Kazuki. I'm truly sorry for your loss. I suppose your parents' untimely death is what prompted you to attend the Police Academy of Special Services. That's where you met Suzumi, and she persuaded you to join a Grossel shortly afterwards. Now, I'm not surprised she did. She is the one who established a Grossel after all. Plus, she's the head of the organization. People say that her father was an amazing man. One of the best police commanders of his time, really.
I guess I'm not the only one snooping around. He's been looking into our backgrounds, too. I give Akito a suspicious glance. He shakes his head a bit as if to tell me that he never told Koya anything about me.
Oh, Akito. You attended the police academy as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I guess we're all in the same boat then. No matter what position we hold, be that a detective, a police officer, a forensic, etc., we all have the same goal.
Yes, those are my thoughts exactly. All the more reason as to why we should work together.
I've got an idea. I could have said it better myself. Still, it's too bad you don't do field work anymore. I put on the best disappointed look I can muster. Field operations are more challenging, but I think it's better that you're here doing desk work instead. We need someone who's as instinctive as you to look over the cases anyway, and who knows, maybe we'll work together on a case someday. This way I won't feel bad that you're stuck behind a desk while the rest of us are out there actually doing some real investigative work. Akito gives me a hard kick in the leg, and a "what the hell are you doing" glare. I'm terribly sorry, I didn't mean to... Koya straightens up in his chair. He seems slightly taken aback by my comment. Interesting. I wait in anticipation for his response.
Yes, well, don't worry about it. A general shouldn't be wandering around a crime scene anyway. We don't want to scare the criminals away before we can catch them, right?
That's it? Sheesh. I'm pretty sure my rude comment touched a nerve, though. I think he's only pretending not to be offended.
With that said, I haven't forgotten about our little deal. Now that we've taken care of the other cases, we'll be able to give the Phantom case our full attention.
I'm glad to hear it. And here I thought you were ready to give up on the Phantom. Ha ha ha. Damn, he's good. No matter how much I provoke him, he just doesn't budge. I can't get a hint out of him at all. Heck, even his body language doesn't tell me anything. And that poker face of his. Why is he so hard to read? Nonetheless, he's definitely hiding something. Anyway, I think we'll be going now. We've taken up enough of your time, General Koya.
No need for formalities, Kazuki. You can just call me Koya.
Right. Sorry, I forgot. In any case, we'll be going now.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
See you. And good luck. You'll need it.
I think we'll be just fine, thanks. I shake hands with Koya and leave without another word.
Jeez, Kazuki, what were you thinking?
What?
Sorry you're stuck behind a desk. What the hell were you provoking him for? Susumi's going to kill you for this.
Will you relax? You're overreacting over nothing.
Whatever. You were acting really weird back there, dude.
What are you talking about? I was a total natural.
Natural my ass. Your behavior was totally inexcusable. You were so rude. You were obviously taking jabs at him, and it's awkward for you to be so direct.
I was only teasing him.
You were only teasing him? Have you lost your mind?
I did it for a reason.
And what's that?
I think Koya knows more than he lets on.
Are you implying that he's trying to use us?
No, that's what I meant. I just think he knows something we don't.
What do you mean?
Did you see his expression when you were telling him about the texts? He was not surprised by our findings at all.
Well...
He wasn't even surprised to hear about the newspaper clipping and the date.
So, what if he wasn't surprised? He wouldn't withhold information from us. Come on, he cares about us. Think about it, man. He even asked for your opinion on a newspaper clipping, remember?
True, but I think it was because he was confirming something. I don't really think he was asking for my opinion on the matter.
A confirmation? For what?
I think he was already aware of the meanings behind the text and such. He was only looking for someone to agree with him, because it would validate that his own deductions on the case are correct.
What? But we've only just discovered these clues ourselves.
I know. That's why I'm pissed off right now. I provoked him because I wanted to see how he would react, if he'd tell us anything. I can't believe he was so calm the entire damn time.
Whoa, how did you notice all that? I wasn't aware of it at all.
You were too busy talking your head off to notice anything. But I guess I shouldn't complain. It was thanks to your ramblings I was able to observe Koya on the side after all.
Wait, what? You used me?
More or less.
Hey, you could have let me in on your plan.
Yeah, sure. The plan would fail for sure if I told you. You'd be staring at Koya the whole time. In short, the plan would be over before it even starts. No matter. It was a total failure anyway. I wasn't able to find out what he knows.
You're sure General Koya knows something?
Yes.
Man, that's a bit unsettling. I wonder what else he knows.
Just then I noticed a young lady walking precariously towards us while juggling a pile of files. Maybe this will work.
So how do we pry the information out of him?
Well, you can start by helping me out with this.
Huh? With what?
I smile innocently at Akito and then I give him a shove.
Hey,
Akito collides into the girl, making her drop all the files. The papers scatter everywhere, creating a big mess on the floor.
Oh, jeez. I'm really, really sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you like that. Are you okay?
Ow.
Michiko?
Akito? What are you doing here?
Oh, we were having a talk with General Koya about the Phantom case earlier. We made some new discoveries, so we wanted to make sure he was updated on the news.
Oh, I see. Look at this mess.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to crash into you.
Akito turns to glare at me. I just shrug and Akito mutters something under his breath and starts picking up the documents off the floor.
Thank you.
You don't need to thank me. It's my fault after all.
Still, it's nice of you to help me.
Well, I can't ignore a pretty lady like yourself, especially when you need help.
Oh, stop flattering me. I'll die from embarrassment.
Nah, a person can die from flattery.
You're too cute.
Akito grins at her.
By the way, are all these files for General Koya?
Yes, he wants to verify a few things.
Ooh, does this mean he has some new information on the Phantom?
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, I see. That's too bad, because we could really use some new information right now. We want to catch this guy, you know?
Yes, I know. We all do.
Anyway, I think that's everything.
Oh, there's one more.
Oh,
They both reach out to grab the last document and end up grabbing each other's hand instead. It was like watching a scene from a TV drama or something.
I'm sorry,
Akito's face flushes red with embarrassment. He quickly removes his hand. Michiko also blushes.
It's okay. Really, it's no big deal.
What an interesting turn of events. Yeah, it's definitely like a scene from a drama.
It was really nice to see you again.
You too.
So, we'll be going now. Take care.
Thank you again for your help. Take care, and try not to crash into girls from now on.
I won't, and that's a promise. Bye.
We watch Michiko walk away in silence. After she has completely disappeared from our sight, I turn my attention to Akito. Well, that was interesting.
It's all your fault.
I wonder how Suzumi would react if she heard about this.
Shut up.
We didn't speak until we got back to Akito's car.
Why did you push me back there?
I told you I needed your help.
What the heck are you talking about? You pushed me into Michiko on purpose, and you're not even sorry about it? Needed my help. Huh, yeah, right.
Look, we both want to find out what Koya knows, right? Well, my little diversion back there gave us the solution to our problem.
I'm lost. Can you be a little more specific?
I show him the file I managed to snatch during their little love scene earlier.
What? You stole a file?
Stole is a harsh word. Let's just say I borrowed it.
Borrow my butt? People call that stealing, not borrowing.
Whatever. Let's not fight about the terminology.
Suzumi will kill us when she finds out about this. We should return the file.
That's if she finds out. I know I'm not going to tell her. Are you? And don't worry, I'll return the file later. I look at the file cover. Ezra Longley. Who is that? I start looking through the files. Interesting.
What is it? What did you find?
Oh, so now you want to know.
Geez, stop being such an ass and tell me.
It's a file on some guy named Ezra Longley.
Okay, and?
There's not much, just some basic information about him.
Then why did you say interesting?
It's this. I show him a document containing Ezra's cell phone information, phone model, serial number, last calls, and GPS location.
Wow, how did they get all this?
I don't know. They probably got help from some agency specializing in hacking phones. This isn't something just anyone can do.
Yeah, true. So what am I supposed to be looking for here?
Look at the date and time of the calls.
It looks like he received a call from 788-555-554 at 12:12 a.m. He called back 30 minutes later. Wait, what?
Akito looks at me in shock.
Is this what I think it is?
Ogune Hyun Ho.
You think he's the murderer? If that's the case, then is he the Phantom?
There's only one way to find out.
What do you have in mind?
Let's pay the guy a visit.
Are you kidding me? You're just going to show up at his doorsteps?
Yeah. Is there a problem?
There are plenty, dude. For starters, what are we going to say to the guy once we meet him?
Simple. We'll just ask if he knows Ogune.
And if he says no?
Then we will know that he's lying and is hiding something. After all, his phone bill proves otherwise. If he says that he does know her, then it would probably lead us to more clues for the case.
I see that you've already thought things through.
More or less. It's all about improvising.
Yeah, you're one hell of an improviser.
So, are you in?
Alright, I'm in.
Good. Let's go. We may actually get ahead of Koya this time.
Hey,
Yeah?
I was just thinking,
About?
what if he turns out to be Ogane's relative or something?
Well, I guess we'll find out soon, right?
Yeah, sure, but shouldn't we at least call Ogane's husband and ask if he knows Ezra?
You want to call Ogune's husband while we're here, at Ezra's apartment.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Never mind then.
Akito scratches his head while I let out a sigh. Come on, Akito, don't chicken out now. Alright, it's here. Room 38. Ready?
Yes.
Akito looks nervous. That's not a good sign. I hope this goes according to plan. I don't hear any movement.
Maybe he's not home?
I am not giving up. I decided to give it another try. Damn it, don't tell me he's out. I press my ear against the door and listen for any sound. Nothing. There's no movement whatsoever.
Well, looks like no one's home. At least we tried. Let's go.
I give Akito a solemn look. Let me know if you see someone.
Wait, what? What are you planning to do?
We're going in.
We? And how do you plan to get in, huh?
I'm going to try to pick the lock. That's how.
Okay, Kazuki. You know I'll always have your back, but this is insane. You're breaking into someone's apartment!
Keep in mind that he's a suspect, Akito.
Hello? Are you listening to me? We can't do this. I mean, we don't even know who this guy is. Dude, if he happens to be home right now and catches us in the act, we'll be in big schnitzel.
You just said that no one's home.
I know, but... Oh, maybe he's sleeping right now. Yeah, that's why he didn't answer the door.
I mentally block Akito out so I can focus on unlocking the door.
Whoa, Kazuki, where did you learn to pick a lock?
From a friend.
From a friend? You? Come on!
Akito gives me a dubious look. It was when I was a kid. We were trying to become magicians or something like it.
Okay.
Alright, we're in.
Must you keep saying we?
I head on inside.
Hey, be careful!
Akito makes one last glance around the hallway to make sure that no one sees us. Then he quickly follows me in. I guess he's not home. I stop in the hallway and start looking around the place.
Hey, shouldn't someone be keeping watch outside? You know, in case he comes back? Maybe he's gone to the store to pick something up and is heading back right now.
So I have to remind you guys, since the story is set in Japan, one of the ways you can tell if someone is in or out is by the shoes left at the door. They should be looking to see if his outdoor shoes are there and his indoor slippers are. Basically, if the slippers are there, that means there's no one wearing them, he's not there. If the slippers are not there, then obviously someone's wearing them and you need to be careful. Or possibly bail out. Nah, I don't think so. I spot a calendar on the wall and read some of the notes written on it.
How do you know?
Because I'm psychic.
Haha, very funny. I'm being serious here.
So am I. Look.
Hmm?
He has the second shift for today.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's hurry and get to work. I'll check his room and you can check the living room.
I still think this is a bad idea.
Remember to put everything back in its place.
Yes, I know. What are we looking for?
Anything suspicious. It could be a scrapbook, photos, notes. Maybe we'll get lucky and find his phone.
Alright.
We split up and start searching the place. I search the nightstand and dresser. I also check under the bed just to be sure. Crap, there's nothing here. I stand back up, look around, and search over the room all over again. A few minutes later, Akito asks me something.
Hey, Kazuki?
What?
Would you say that a rolled-up carpet that's wrapped in sheets and hidden in a wardrobe is suspicious?
What? Did he just say a rolled-up carpet? I quickly head over to the living room.
Look.
Man, the stench. It's been heavily bleached.
Yeah, not only that, check out the huge stain over here.
This looks like...
It's blood, isn't it?
most likely.
He was probably trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, guess it didn't work that well.
It sure didn't. Where do you suppose the carpet came from?
We stare at each other and murmur the answer at the same time.
Rosewood Resort. Okay, let's say it is the carpet from the resort. We can't exactly take this with us now, can we? We don't even have proof that this Ezra guy's involved in Ogane's murder. And most importantly, we shouldn't even be here!
We need to talk to this guy.
I know that. Keep in mind that there's a fair chance that the police are also searching for this guy. Heck, they may be searching for him right this moment.
Yeah, I know. However, they'll need a warrant to search his apartment.
Fine, you win. So, what do you say we meet up with him and see what he has to say before we report for work?
Yeah, I guess we could do that.
You don't sound so sure.
Well, just... something doesn't feel right. Never mind. Akito stares at me for a bit. He's probably deciding whether to probe me further or not. Luckily, he chooses the latter.
Anyway, I think we should get out of here.
You're right. Let's go.
Whoa, did I hear you right? Did you just say that I'm right?
We locked up the place to quickly leave the apartment complex before anyone sees us. This just seems too easy. Could he really be the Phantom? Or is it just as Akito surmised, that these cases are committed by more than one person?
Back to HQ?
So keep in mind, if they want to be really dirty, what you're supposed to do is you take out the rug, you throw it on the ground in plain sight. Keep in mind, you also had to be wearing gloves while you search the place for this. Then you pick up his phone, dial 911, and just walk out and go home. The police will respond to the call, find the rug, and then the analysis can begin. Yeah. Akito looks at his watch.
Okay, but first I need to drop by somewhere.
Huh?
Don't worry, it won't take long.
Okay. We get into Akito's car and hit the road. I try to think of a place Akito could be heading right now, but none of them seems plausible. 10 minutes later, I still haven't found the answer. Where are we headed to? Maybe Suzumi asked him to pick up something for work.
We're almost there.
Where are we going exactly?
Blue Laguna.
Huh? Why are we heading to a restaurant? Did Suzumi ask you to buy something?
No, it's complicated.
What's so complicated about going to a restaurant?
Well, to be honest, it's Aki. She's meeting some dude at the Blue Laguna.
We find a parking space close to the Blue Laguna and quickly claim the spot before anyone else does.
Alright, we're here.
Okay, genius. What's your plan?
No plan. I just want to see this guy, that's all.
Oh. I have a really bad feeling about this. We stay at the restaurant's exterior. There are a couple of empty tables here and there. The place is mostly packed with couples. Maybe they left already.
Hey, look over there!
Or not. I look to where Akito is pointing and see Aki seated at one of the tables. I don't know, like I'm trying not to get points with Akito. The truth usually hurts, let's try the truth. Yeah, that's her alright.
See?
Okay, as you can see, she's perfectly fine. Now let's go. Akito ignores me and steps out of the car. Man. I quickly get out of the car and follow Akito. I wish I could turn back time right now.
Oh, and remember that fight afterwards? You screamed, "Our place is here. This is where we'll fight and die." I can't believe you even shouted, "For freedom!" before charging into a fight against those 5 other players.
Yeah, I remember that. They chased me around for half the game map.
Yep. I remember our team just stood on the sidelines. We were all wondering what you were doing. It worked out in the end though, because we were able to destroy their team's support group. All thanks to your bizarre plan.
That was hilarious.
I still think it was one of the dumbest ideas ever.
Hey, at least it worked.
Yeah, somewhat.
Oh, hey, Aki.
Aki looks at Akito with a surprised look on her face.
Huh? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at work right now?
Oh, I was just passing by. I didn't know you'd be here. What are the odds?
Yeah, right? I told you I'd be at Blue Laguna.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
Anyway, I was in the area, so I decided to drop by. Oh, who's this young fellow?
Oh, sorry. I'm a friend of Aki's. My name's Mikhail.
Mikhail stands up and extends his hand out for a handshake. Akito accepts it while smiling through his teeth. The whole scene looks awkward, even from afar.
Oh, well, any friend of Aki's is a friend of mine. I'm Akito.
That sounds like something Aki would say.
I am itching to say something else right now.
I don't believe Aki's ever mentioned you. So where are you from?
Russia.
Wow. That's far.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, I didn't know you were here too, Kazuki.
I'm not here by choice.
I see.
She glares at Akito. Akito quickly averts his eyes and pretends not to notice. I'm Kazuki, by the way. I'm really sorry about this, guys.
Oh, sorry. I'm a friend of Aki's. The name's Mikhail.
So, Mikhail, what brings you to Utna?
Uh,
Oh, don't be shy. We're both men here. It's normal to want to party with girls and drink some beer, you know. Don't worry, buddy. I've got your back.
What the hell is he babbling about? Mikhail looks to Aki for help.
Cut it out, big bro. You're acting like a complete nutcase.
I have no idea what's on Aki's mind right now, but I'm pretty sure she's itching to kick Akito hard in the nuts at this very moment.
What? I'm just trying to be friends with Mikhail here. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Oh, he's your brother?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have told you that right from the start.
It's okay. I should have known. I mean, you two do resemble each other, and your names are pretty similar too.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
I'd like to say.
My brother would like to say that it was really nice meeting you and all, and that he needs to go now.
No,
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. What does that mean?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually in a hurry, so I'll just. It was nice meeting you, Mikhail. I hope to see you around.
Yeah. It was nice meeting you too.
Never again.
Akito turns around and starts walking back to the car. I have no idea what this mazel something's all about, but it worked like a charm. I'm really sorry about this, guys.
It's not your fault, Kazuki. You don't need to apologize.
Later, chumps. Well, take care. I turn and walk away.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for dropping by. See you, Kazuki.
A feeling of dread washes over me the minute I get back into the car. The atmosphere inside the car feels heavy and gloomy thanks to the sinister aura emitting from Akito. I can tell he's on the verge of exploding. Look, I really don't want to say anything here, but you're seriously giving me the chills right now.
Did you see that guy? He was acting all nice and courteous, but I can totally see through his act. I know guys like him like the back of my hand. You just watch. I will expose that conniving jerk in no time.
Okay. And this is another reason why I shouldn't be working with Akito.
I'll show him my fighting skills next time. Left, right, uppercut and left hook. You want a piece of me, Mikhail? Huh? Huh?
God, why are you doing this to me? I know I haven't been very faithful to you, but why? What have I done to deserve this? Yeah, whatever you say. Can we go back to HQ now? Akito doesn't budge. After a brief moment of silence, he turns to look at me.
Let's kill him and bury his body somewhere. No one will ever know.
Dude, are you listening to yourself right now?
Calm down, dude. I was just kidding.
I don't think you are.
Shut up.
I decided to end this awkward moment by changing the topic. By the way, don't tell Suzumi about what we did. You know, about how we borrowed the files and checked out Ezra's apartment?
Of course. I will be as quiet as a mouse. Scout's honor.
Yeah, I'm worried. Akito was still complaining about Mikhail the whole time during our driving back to HQ. Will you just relax, Akito? The guy is perfectly normal. For the most part, anyway.
Great. He's deceived you too? Well, I'm not gonna fall for it. I know what he's playing at. Why do you think he traveled half across the world to meet with Aki, huh? I mean, don't you think it's weird? Oh, I'm Mikhail, I'm Aki's friend. Blah, blah.
Why am I arguing with Akito over this anyway? I open the door and step into the office. Hey, could someone shut Akito up? Suzumi and Kaoru stare blankly back at us. Just then I notice a huge stack of paper on the table. What are those documents?
Huh? What do you mean?
Oh, I was afraid this would happen.
Suzumi picks up the files from the desk.
Hey, I'm just saying that it's weird, that's all.
I settle into my seat.
So, who'll explain the whole thing to us?
Aki's on a date with some guy at this very moment.
I wouldn't call it a date, but yes, I'm fully aware of that. So,
What? You knew about this?
Akito quickly looks at Kaoru.
Yes, Aki told us about it.
Oh, okay. Alright. It's cool. No problem.
This is not good.
So you guys are okay with this? It doesn't bother you that Aki's hanging out with some guy that we know nothing about?
Aki's not a kid, Akito. You can't stop her from hanging out with a friend.
Friend? How is that sneaky guy a friend?
Okay, Kazuki. Now I get what you were talking about earlier.
I wonder if it's too late for reclamation.
You mean Akito? Well, there doesn't seem to be any physical damages. It's probably an issue with the software.
Overheated.
Maybe. Who knows?
Stop talking about me like I'm some sort of object.
Fine, I'll say it. I love you, Akito.
I'm not going to say it.
Oh, come on. Look at him. Just say it. You do want him to be normal again, don't you?
Hell no. You know, this is so not how I imagine my first love confession to be like.
Wait, this is your first? Are you serious? You've never confessed to a girl before?
Hey!
Oh, for goodness sake! Stop yelling and get over it! We've got bigger issues to deal with right now.
Akito settles into his seat without another word. It's clear that he's greatly dissatisfied by everyone else's response to his little dilemma of his. His pouty expression says it all. I, on the other hand, am glad that it's over.
Any news from the police?
No, nothing. I glance at Akito.
Yep, no tips whatsoever. We did update General Koya on our progress, though.
What about you two? Suzumi smiles pleasantly at us.
We may actually have something.
Oh? Is it related to those files you just removed from the desk?
Huh? Oh, no. Those files are irrelevant to the case.
Oh, is it?
You guys are hiding something too, aren't you?
What do you mean, two? Are you guys hiding something from us?
Huh? What? No, I mean, I just felt like putting a 2 in there, that's all.
Oh, really?
Damn it, Akito. He's such a terrible liar.
Oh, right, of course.
So, what about those files? I interrupted to stop Kaoru from asking Akito more questions.
I'll say it again. Those files are irrelevant.
That last
Now,
line...
Anyway.
That last line was probably supposed to be like a narration thing rather than him talking. Oh, so there are some things you don't want us to know about.
You know it's not that. There are certain matters that need to be taken into account if we want to keep up with the police in this case. I'm just concerned with the legal side of things.
Ugh, legal matters are boring.
Fine, if you say so.
You don't believe me?
I never said that. But I do agree with Akito. Legal matters are boring.
Alright! High five, buddy!
Don't touch me.
You guys.
Also, your view about keeping us with the police is an interesting one. I believe striving to be ahead would be the better option here.
Oh, I'm surprised. You were listening to Suzumi after all.
I shrug nonchalantly in response.
Moving on. What did you guys manage to find out?
Oh yeah. You won't believe who came to visit us today.
She paused and stared hard at us. Is she waiting for us to guess or something? I hope it wasn't someone from the police force. Don't tell me they found out about the file. Akito turns to look at me. Conflict is written all over his face. Zip it, Akito. Don't say anything. If you were waiting for us to make an educated guess as to who that is, then you're just wasting your time. It's not going to happen. Trust me.
Takashi Harada.
Who?
Firefighter Matsuo's friend.
Oh, right. The guy with the scar. But why was he here?
I'm guessing it's because we forgot to follow up on the case with him.
Oh, right, of course.
Good grief, Akito. Get yourself together.
Jeez, Akito. Will you stop worrying about Aki and focus?
Huh? My little sister? Oh, yeah, sorry.
I should have told Akito about the files, or taken them for that matter. Suzumi studies Akito. He quickly flashes her a smile, which she ignores.
Anyway, he told us something very interesting.
Go on.
According to Takashi, Matsuo met someone just days before his murder.
So Matsuo did meet someone.
Yes. Apparently, he was approached by a young man after one of his social gatherings.
Oh. Did he give any details on the guy's appearance?
Unfortunately, no. It was already pitch black by the time Matsuo got out. Plus, I don't think it ever crossed his mind that the stranger could be someone dangerous. I'm sure he meets all kinds of people on a daily basis due to his job, so he probably didn't think twice about that.
Darn.
However, Matsuo did tell Takashi that the young man seemed sincere, and that he was carrying some kind of ID similar to a police identification card.
What?
Yes, we were shocked by the news too. That does help explain a lot of things, though.
So what happened next?
The young man said that he was investigating a report about a break-in in the area.
Interesting. We never received any break-in reports back then.
Huh? Investigating a break-in report? I wasn't aware that any break-ins occurred.
He asked Matsuo if he'd seen anyone suspicious lately, and Matsuo told him no. The young man told Matsuo to be careful, and that he wanted to check their alarm system and make sure it was working properly, because he wanted to ensure their safety and such.
What?
He pulled a nice move there.
Right? He's a clever one.
Matsuo told the young man that they didn't have an alarm system because they didn't see a need for one, as the area has always been quite safe.
And peaceful.
The young man then said that it was probably just a single break-in, and nothing to be concerned about. He also told them to take extra precautions like closing all the windows and making sure the doors are locked at night. Before he left, he gave Matsuo a business card for some home security company just in case they changed their minds.
Damn, smart move.
Indeed. Matsuo didn't realize that he told the guy everything he wanted to know.
I agree. I'm guessing that Matsuo didn't tell his wife anything because he didn't want her to worry. It's a good thing he told Takashi, though.
Yes. He probably thought the guy was just some solicitor who was trying to sell him security service.
Damn. The poor couple was totally off guard.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Who would suspect a young guy being a serial killer anyway?
That's true.
The young man's gotta be the Phantom for sure.
No doubt about it. Anyway, does Takashi remember what the company name was? Maybe Matsuo gave him the card.
I'm afraid not. Matsuo threw the card away.
Great. Did he mention anything else that could help us with the case?
No, that's all.
A young man, huh? Well, at least we know it's a guy now, and a young one at that.
He's clever, too.
Yes, I can't believe he spoke to Matsuo a few days before the murder.
And he was able to pull it off without arousing suspicion.
Yeah, but then again, he was so slick about it. I'm not surprised that no one suspected him.
But that was a good strategy, alright. An idea that's similar to a police ID card, huh? What could it be? Could have been a fake one. In any case, this explains how he's able to approach his victims so easily.
But?
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about the other thing that Matsuo noticed.
You mean the ID?
Yes.
It could be any kind of ID. We don't even know if it's fake or real. Anyway, it doesn't tell us anything about this guy.
I wouldn't say that.
What do you mean?
This may sound stupid, but what if the young man is a police officer?
What? What are you talking about?
Calm down and let him finish, Akito.
Yes, I would like to hear what Kazuki has to say.
Think about it. It would explain how he was able to get close to those victims without any problems. He has to be a police officer or someone who works in a similar field.
Wait, what? Are you implying that he was impersonating a police officer?
That does seem plausible.
I agree.
Oh, come on, Kazuki. That sounds absolutely outrageous. Why would a guy pretend to be a police officer and go around selling home security services?
Akito, I think you've completely missed the point. Let's suppose Kazuki's right, that he is a police officer. This explains why there are no signs of break-ins or struggles on the victims' bodies.
Are you saying that the victims invited him in?
None of us wanted to answer that. We just stared at each other in silence. It's all starting to make sense now.
Okay, so let's say the Phantom is a police officer or something. Whether he's a real cop or just impersonating one, how could anyone just invite him in? I mean, just picture it for a moment. It's the middle of the night and some stranger knocks at your door. You open the door slightly, and he shows you a police ID and asks if he can come in. There's no way you would let him in like that, right?
Unless you know him. Everyone looks at me.
You think the victims knew the killer?
What other explanation is there?
But then, why would all the victims know him? That's a bit far-fetched.
Maybe he's someone famous.
Famous? Give me a break. Are you suggesting that some celebrity is going around murdering people?
Kaoru, Suzumi, and I immediately winced upon hearing that.
Let me rephrase that. I meant that he could be someone well known. Someone who's constantly on TV or mentioned in the newspaper.
I understand what you're saying, Kaoru. However, that's too broad. I mean, even Yggdrasil's been mentioned by the media.
Exactly. And we are young, too. That's like saying we're also suspects.
Good point.
Or maybe one of you is the killer, and that means the case is closed.
It's a man, remember? So it's either you or Kazuki.
Oh, right. It's Kazuki.
Alright, you've made your point. It's only a theory, okay? There's no need to get all sarcastic on us.
Come on, guys. You don't think it's a bit of a stretch? Not even a teensy bit?
It might be, but we may also be on the right track with this.
This is not definite, of course.
Yeah, these are only speculations for now.
But if he really is someone who works for the police or in some other similar field, it would also explain why the crime scenes are so perfect.
And why there aren't any signs of break-in. Okay, if that's true, then wouldn't this mean that the perpetrator is someone we know? We are detectives ourselves, and we've worked with the police countless times, right? Maybe we've seen him somewhere and never realized it.
Good point.
And it has to be someone who appeared in the media recently.
I think we still have a lot of possibilities to consider. The chance of him being a police officer is very high. But once we factor in the other factors like fame and the media...
I know, right? He could also be someone pretending to be a victim or something. Maybe he's appeared on a TV program as an interviewer or a spokesperson. Or maybe he pretended to be a missing person. Anything is possible.
I still think he's someone in the police force or something along those lines.
Why's that?
Just hear me out, okay? I know I said that the police officer impersonation was just a theory, but it's the most plausible answer we have right now. Try picturing some celebrity or some random guy who's appeared on TV suddenly showing up at your doorstep. How would you react?
I don't know. Ask him what he wants or why he is here?
Exactly. Just because you've seen him on television doesn't mean he's automatically your buddy. He's still a stranger to you.
Right. And...
But a police officer is different. He's someone who symbolizes protection, security, etc. You would be less prone to suspect him. And if you've seen him on the news recently, then you wouldn't think he's here to trick you, right?
well...
I could tell that Akito's trying to look for a loophole in my theory.
Okay, I can see that happening with Ernest and Li Zhang. But if that's the case, then what about Ogune and Longley? What's the connection there?
Longley?
Longley?
Oh, crap.
Huh?
You said Longley.
What? No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
We're so screwed.
No, you guys heard it wrong. I said Longway. I meant to say that finding a connection between Ogune and the other victims is a long way.
Huh? What's a long way?
Well, it's you know, a long term.
What? Is there something you're not telling us, Akito?
Me? No, of course not. I'm just saying that I understand how it'd be easy for him to visit the teacher and professor. I just don't see how it would work with Ogune, you know?
Are you referring to the fact that the Phantom contacted her prior to their meeting?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. Ogune actually agreed to meet with the perpetrator late at night. Now that's something you wouldn't do for a stranger, right?
Well, yeah. We already discussed this back then.
This also backs up Kazuki's theory about the perpetrator being linked to the police.
Perhaps. He used his work stress as an excuse to make it seem like he needed someone to talk to.
Yes. And who better to talk to than a psychiatrist?
That's where Ogune comes in. That's how the Phantom got to know her. She agreed to meet him because he was an acquaintance. She trusted him completely.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, her trust in him is what led to her own demise.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant to say.
You're terrible with words, Akito.
I'm just not myself today.
I can't believe we managed to weasel out of that one. For a minute there, I was sure Suzumi would find out about the files. Phew.
So, what do you all think?
even though it's just a theory, I believe it makes perfect sense.
I hate to admit it, but yeah, I think it makes sense too.
I completely agree with you guys.
So what now?
Yeah, what should we do next?
Checking into police personal records won't be easy, and it'll take up a good solid amount of our time.
Yes, I realize that.
Nevertheless, I still think we should look into it.
Yes, I know. It'll probably take up a month of our time.
Yeah, I guessed as much. A month should be enough.
Sounds good. It won't hurt us to do this anyway. After all, it's all linked to the Phantom, right?
I suppose so. So, everyone agrees with this?
Yeah.
Alright then. We shall start tomorrow.
Actually, if it's okay with you, Akito and I would like to look into Professor Li Sheng's case tomorrow.
Oh? Do you have some sort of plan?
Not really. I'm thinking of looking into this map of Utna. Perhaps I can ask around to see if anyone knows what he was working on. I don't know if it has anything to do with his death, but I think it may explain why all his research data was deleted in the first place. I mean, it's a bit odd that his hard drive was completely wiped out, don't you think? Yeah, true. And according to Akito, Professor Li Sheng wasn't working on anything for the police at the time either. Yes, I'm aware of that.
Alright, permission granted.
Thanks. Suddenly, everyone stares at me. What?
You really have changed.
Yes, I can't believe Kazuki thanked you. Plus, he offered to look into another case with Akito. Without any sarcastic remarks, no less. Wow, you really come a long way, Kazuki.
Yeah.
I don't get what you guys are talking about.
We're just happy you improved so much.
Suzumi smirks at me. Whatever.
And he's back.
Yeah, that's the Kazuki we know.
Sheesh, I feel a migraine coming on.
Okay. Akito, you'll update Aki on our progress for today, right?
Like I have any other choice.
Perfect. And thank you for your cooperation. I'm guessing after the two of you are through with your investigation that you'll be reporting back to HQ and fill us in on what you found?
Of course. I doubt that'll take long anyway.
Okay, meeting's adjourned for today.
Ugh, finally. What a long day.
At least you got to move around while you did your investigations for today. We've been sitting here all day long. My back.
I'm sorry, Kaoru. I'll make it up to you by paying for the food next time.
Are you bribing me with food?
Well, at least you guys got to eat something.
Huh? You two didn't eat yet?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh, you should have told me.
I forgot about it.
I swear, Kazuki, one of these days you'll even forget to breathe.
Suzumi locks up the place, and then we all head downstairs.
Thank you for all your hard work today, guys. See you tomorrow.
Yep, see ya, and take care.
Have a nice evening, everyone.
Yeah, you too. See you. Akito and I watch the others walk away until they're out of sight. Then Akito turns his attention to me.
You need a ride home, Kazuki?
Oh no, I think I'll walk. I need to pick up some groceries on the way.
Oh, alright. Then I guess I'll see you around 9?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty. See you tomorrow, buddy.
See you. Akito grins and leaves. I head over to the mall to pick up some stuff. I also take this time to grab some food. I found hurrying get some food in my system, the acid in my stomach will devour my insides for dinner instead.